Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another Sunday evening. And welcome back to the ORL F2. We are here today in Europe again, a little more Western this time. We're in Spain at the Spanish GP at the Circuit de Barcelona-Catalunya. I hope that's about correct. Yeah, well, we've been racing at this track for a while, and its current configuration is 4.65 kilometers or 2.89 miles long with about 16 turns. And we know we had a little bit of a rework going on to this 2020 season, also in the real circuit, with especially the last chicane, turn number 14 and 15. And yeah, that's included in the game, and we'll see how the drivers manage it, how they handle it, and well, let's hope for an interesting circuit, for an interesting race. Even though the circuit is sometimes known for a little bit of boring races because there's no real opportunity to overtake. The second DRS straight between turn 9 and 10 is pretty short, and but yeah, we'll see if we can make the best out of it. And yeah, I hope we can soon get into the game, and then everything should work fine again. I hope, at least. Let's see if the steering is still looking good. Looks like there's something not really working. I don't know, but let's jump into the game for now. Let's see this later on. We're going over now, hopefully, with the transition into the game. And yeah, we can see already that we are in qualifying already with about 16 minutes left, and we are again joined by about 12 drivers who are currently doing their laps. And Svetkov was disqualified. I think he just restarted this game, that's why we saw him on the bottom right. The fitted ones we want to see, and there we are. Got some people out there on the mediums, and a lot of them on the softs. Of course, the faster tire. Oh, some ghosting going on, and already some on-track action. Somebody lost a front wing there. The Williams of Mikhail Bosek. And I'm not sure, but the other one is ghosting, so I suppose it's Svetkov. Looked like a AlphaTauri. But yeah, that's now qualifying going. We have no time set yet. One time to theoretically look up to would be the 118.183 from Valtteri Bottas in this year's configuration of the Mercedes in real life, but we'll for sure crack that mark in the game. But let's see how far down the drivers can go on that time. And that's a lap aborted, of course, because he went into the wall at about turn number 5. No, it was 4 I think. So, alright, let's get a quick view on the rest of the drivers. Most of them are in pits. It's just Danny out there currently, and Furious or Pretentious. I wanted to ask him before the race, but it was a little bit too short if it's Furious or Pretentious, but I think it's Furious. Everything else wouldn't make sense. Alright, and there's the Mercedes of Get Owned coming out of the garage. And speaking of Get Owned, we maybe can take a quick look at the championship standings. And that would be this one. Well, currently Get Owned, who we're just talking of, is in first position, leading the championship of the F2 league, followed by Zones, who isn't joining us tonight, at least I didn't see him, and then there's Andy, who isn't there tonight too, I think. No. Some people who are there are were Ace. He's not in the list, I think. No. But I just saw one exactly. It was Svetkov, who got disqualified earlier on in the qualifying, correct? For parking in a dangerous position. And then we have, of course, Daniel 17, who's in the Ferrari in 8th place. And, well, the rest of the timing table isn't really seen on the timing. The guys on the timing table are really in the championship positions. But we though can have a quick look at the team championship standings, and that would be Mercedes leading because of Get Owned, of course, then McLaren with Andy and Crew 6. Crew 6 could be there, or no, he isn't. He was last time, but he isn't this time. I'm sorry. And then we have Red Bull in third, with Müller and Anka, Williams in fourth, Racing Point in fifth. And for example, Zvetkov with the AlphaTauri team is in ninth, and Ferrari, who is joined by Danny, is in sixth place with 61 points. He's looking for more points to get past Racing Point in the championship. And yeah, for sure, if Danny can win or can score points today, they will step up the table at least a bit. And that'll be it for the championship standings. I have to say I'm not sure about the stream, because it seems to be some frame drops. But I'm not sure what I can make about it, and some lags. And yeah, that's unfortunate, but I'll just have to look further on what is happening there. But YouTube doesn't seem to like the stream at the moment. Because it's pretty much lagging all the time. I'm not sure what this is about, but let's see. Should be fine. I hope it is fine now. But let's concentrate on the qualifying. As I mentioned earlier, the time from Valtteri Bottas was a 1:18.198, I think. No, a 1:18.183 exactly. But I think this was a race lap record exactly. Maybe I can quickly look up the qualifying lap record. But this would be a 1:15.4 from 2019. And well, look at the timings. We already topped it. Philippe Nunes topped the time of Valtteri Bottas from last year, and is now a little bit further up in the standings. I'm sorry. Than anyone else. He's in provisional pole position. But currently behind him is F1 kit with medium tires, so I think most of the time missing to Philippe is the advantage of the soft tire to the medium tire. And well, for sure, if the F1 could try a lap on the soft tire, they would get a lap as quick as Philippe, or even faster. Maybe even the 114s, 149 or 148. That would be a quite good lap. But now we're watching Furious bombing down on the main straight, and then we maybe can take a tour around the Circuit de Barcelona-Catalunya. Exactly. So, as we've seen, the first right and left-hand combination, then a long right-hander, followed by another long right-hander, both times about 180 degree turns, then a harsh left-hander, again nearly 180 degrees, not close, not fully, but nearly. Then uphill left hand, going very quickly through turn number 9. Oh, and there he aborted his lap. Yeah, turn number 9 is very tricky because you don't really want to lift the gas there, but you have to a little bit to get around this left-hander and onto the main straight, because you of course want to take the most speed possible onto that straight, and with the DRS then to get your maximum high speed before breaking down into another sharp left turn. And yeah, but then followed by a little bit of a tricky again left turn. Yeah, Barcelona is a little bit of is well, often you turn the same ways again and again. But now hopefully we can continue our journey. This left-hander, a small right-hander, not really a corner. And then this is the fast right-hander where you don't want to touch the gravel on the left side. And then after DRS activation, braking down really close, really short straight into this sharp turn, and there it goes a little bit upwards. And if you're not careful enough, it's possible to lose your car there. But as I've seen, F1 can already invalidate his lap. But nonetheless, a right turn followed by the last two turns, a chicane, the change one, and normally would be followed by the last right turn onto the main straight, where you normally don't really brake for, but it's you try to take the most speed through it, but you also have to be careful to not invalidate your lap on the outside of the turn. So here we are again. Maybe we can see now with a third car. Oh, and there is a restart according to the F2 coordinator. So yeah, we'll be switching back to the commentary stream, and then we'll be waiting for the game to get its restart, but I'm not sure when and how will happen. I mean, we have now a lot of trouble. There's already the other lobby, so shouldn't be that big problem. Maybe I can then take a look at the stream issues, but I'm not sure what the problem is, because everything is set exactly as last time, and I didn't change anything, but it still just wants to try and prank me. Alright. Yeah, here we are. Oh, an error joining the session, no problem. We'll get in there like Lewis. And there we are, new session. So we have to wait a little bit for the session to build up for everyone to join. And well, in the meantime, we can actually just wait. We have nothing really left to discuss. Took already care of the constructor and driver championship standings within first qualifying, or well, the qualifying preparation kind of. And yeah, now we're waiting on the restart, but it takes a while to really get the players back in, get everyone to notice that we restarted the session, and then we'll for sure let you know when and how we're going to start. But in the meantime, I think I'm off for a short time. I'll be back soon. And of course before the lobby will start. So yeah, see you soon guys. Hope you stay tuned and don't switch off the stream. So there we are again, guys. Should be back in a second. But before we start into qualifying, I completely forgot to introduce our sponsors of the Online Racing League, because we are partnered with HyperX, and they're providing high-end gaming gear like mouses, keyboards, and headsets, everything you need. And well, why don't you take a quick look into it yourself? And in the meantime, I also hope at least I fixed the stream issue. So everything should now run smoothly, as we're watching the guys back on track with 11 people only this time. Yeah, going again through qualifying. 60 minutes and 30 seconds left. We're at the Circuit de Barcelona, and we're at the Circuit de Barcelona-Catalunya. And I am sorry if you hear some sirens from an ambulance in the back. I don't know what's going on here, but someone for sure needs help. So, well, back to the racing. Yeah, we're here in Spain for round number 9 of the season 13 and the F2 of the Online Racing League, and we're just waiting for the first laps of those guys. And well, there's a lot of difference in strategies, I think, this time, because most of them are surely trying to get out there and make a medium time, a quick medium time, of course, in the about the 1:15s. That's what we're looking forward to. And but maybe we'll see also someone who tried on softs first, who try their luck, and maybe even go to a 3-stop race later on. But yeah, most of them will start at mediums, then for sure going onto the hards, because else you could just go soft medium to get a quicker qualifying. So yeah, Looking forward to the first laps, and we're actually watching Mikhail Busek on his first quick lap. We saw a little bit of the track earlier, a lot of very long turns, especially in the beginning, and now he's heading up to turn number 9, the fast right-hander for the second DRS straight. Bombing down into turn number 10, going down into second gear, down quickly up to 3, again to do this tricky combination, lifting a little bit from the gas, else you can lose your car, and there he got some oversteer. Gotta catch that up, and let's see what his first time is. Will not be the yellow from the back, I think, but should still be quick. Oh no, it's actually not the yellow from the egg at all. It's a 117, and that's very, very slow for softs. Yeah, well, very slow is a little bit exaggerated, but it is pretty slow for this level of drivers we have here, because as you can see, here are drivers who can go into the 114s with a medium tire, as of one kid shows us, and even with the softs, as Joao Pedro is showing us, you can go a little bit quicker into the 114 sixes. And there's a 134 from Hypnotize. Well, a little bit of a slow lap, I would say. That's a really, really slow lap. Now I can say that. Oh, and he retired from the session. That is not good. That looks like we'll have someone who is last on the leaderboard. And Werace is surely preparing a hot lap, because else he wouldn't drive that slow. He now wants to get the best out of... Oh no, he's going into the pits. He aborted his lap. That will be the other possibility, of course. And well, that's Mikhail Busek. We have Ina Fredo Metrio, something like that, who's currently out there on a hot lap. And yeah, of course, looking for the last tenths. Nah, it's also not really a hot lap. He's 6 seconds off the time, and a little bit slow around here. But there's currently no one else really to watch for another quick lap. And it's getting pretty calm. We can watch Furious. I have now confirmation that it's Furious. We had a little exchange in the break earlier on about his name. I actually don't know anymore how I got the idea of calling it pretentious, but well, it somehow went along, and yeah, but it's now confirmed it's Furious, and he's currently listed in 11th with no time yet, but he's sure looking to improve that around this really quick right hand where you try to keep full throttle. You sometimes have to correct yourself to not get out of the track limits, and therefore you have to lift the gas slightly, and a little bit of lockup at the front there through turn number 5, but that's well, a little bit normal. Lockups happen there pretty often. Through the fast right-hander, not touching the gravel and opening the rear wing, closing it as closely afterwards over this little bump, the way up, and then through this very long right-hander. You can just you have to really wait to open your steering up, because you don't expect it to be that long, and then through the chicane and full throttle. Oh, he has a little bit of a ERS failure there, and there is it back, but I think that cost him a little bit of his time, but it's still a 1:15.5. Not the quickest lap, especially on softs, but still a valid time. And who is out too? It's the F1 kid out on the mediums, having currently the fastest time on the mediums. The next one on the mediums is like a second behind him. So he doesn't really need to improve on his lap time, but if he wants to try, then he can, of course. But the longer he uses the mediums, the worse they get for later on in the race. So maybe he should just leave them be, because the 1:49 is a pretty quick time with the mediums. And he's now slowing down, so we maybe watch somebody else like Ace in the AlphaTauri, who's currently onto a hot lap. At least I hope so. Time is not invalidated yet, and he's going uphill into turn number 9. Now through, and looking for another quick time round here, or not really another, but for his first quick time, as is now Get Owned, who sitting in the black Mercedes. Finally, a few weeks ago they got the livery into the game, but whereas is aborting his lap and going into the pits. But Get Out is on an out lap. I'm sorry. Not yet. Trying to reach his path, and the lap has been invalidated, but that's not really interesting because, well, he's currently just preparing for his hot lap. Hopefully he didn't make his tires dirty with a maneuver outside of the track, because that's the only reason why your lap gets invalidated. But now he is starting his hot lap, pushing up the ERS and the fuel mixture, and bombing down the main straight, the longest straight in Spain. Basically the whole track, the whole rest of the track is as long as this straight. And yeah, now going through the first sector, seeing a 20.9, and coming around here, using a lot of curves, going up through the gears, now down into 5th for the left-hander, and heading up to the right-hander, going just a little bit off the gas. You saw it there, but then it's very hard to catch a car, and you have to catch it, else you'll land in the gravel pit or even in the wall. Going down into even 2nd for this really sharp turn, but he also already invalidated his lap, so that will be no lap yet for Get Owned, but he still has 6 minutes. But he really needs to use those 6 minutes, because else it will get really tight for him. There will be no space for really a lot more laps. But nonetheless, Joao Pedro is still holding the 1:14.6 with his softs. Now he's going onto the mediums. Problem is, he has to beat his time to actually start at the mediums. So he really has to put out a really good lap on track, because else, well, this won't look that good. Now going through the final sector, the little bump, the long right-hander, also nearly 180 degrees. We have a lot of 180 degree turns there on the track, and very long corners every time. And now going through the last turn, bombing down the main straight with an open rear wing, and then it's actually going pretty steep down into the first turn, which is taking pretty fast in 5th gear, as well as the second one, who's a little bit wider. And then we're going full throttle through this right-hander, trying to not invalidate your lap out there. and another right-hander. A nearly completely 360-degree turn those two corners, and then going to the left again. So you spin out a little bit, and here is the DRS detection zone for the race later on. Of course, now in qualifying everything's activated, and you see every time the drivers come out this corner, they have to wobble a little bit with the back to stay on track, and they're a little late for me the game there. But now we are going for the last chicane, and well, that doesn't look that fast. Yes, that's what I was about to say. I think there in the last sector he made some errors he didn't really want to make, or he was just trying to practice a little bit with the mediums, but I'm not sure about all that. The F1 kid is again out there with another set of softs, and the Whereas was out with a set of softs, and Gedon is still in the pits with a set of mediums on. Currently looking forward to start on the medium side, sure hope. And well, no, it's nearly pretty boring. Whoa, well, actually not. We have Daniel Valle trying his first hot lap. Maybe he had a few tries earlier, but maybe he invalidated them. So now the first, hopefully, real try without invalidating anything. Right through the first sector, 20.99. Quick time. Oh, and a massive spin out of turn number 3 there. No, it was 4. It's always 4. I always think 4 is like 5 or 3. That was a really massive spin. That's not good for his tires, especially if you want to start at mediums. And but the problem is you only get one set for qualifying. So actually, this one lap has really to be perfect. With the softs, you actually have a little bit more of a room to play with. Set a quick time, but the medium just won't allow that because you just have one set. And yeah, you can make 2 laps on the mediums for qualifying reasons. That would be possible too, but mostly the drivers are going for less fuel and therefore just for 1 lap. So because you can actually start on nearly every track with just the 5 kilograms of fuel for a qualifying lap, except for maybe Spa, for example. But mostly in the other tracks you can do that, and it will be enough if you go on the lower fuel mixture. I actually forgot the name. It's rich, medium, and something else. Lean, exactly. Into the lean mode and onto the no ERS mode, and then you'll save both of them. But the fuel is actually more important because ERS you can regenerate. But back to on-track action, we are here with Get Owned, who's currently last in the standings, because Daniel Valle set a time on the medium tire, 1:24.196, a really slow time. I think I could beat that. I could actually not really race with those guys, they're way too quick for me, but a 1:24 I can make that. And yeah, Get Owned is now it's getting really interesting. What can Get Owned put on for a time, and he's a 1:14.841, and I said earlier the medium runners will get into those high 1:14s maybe, and Get Owned did, and he's one of the fastest in the grid currently. And well, the F1 kid has set his previous time also on mediums, so he's pretty close. He might be even a podium candidate for later on if he can stay up there, because you can see now with the best tires. Oh, and João Pedro sets a new fastest time of 1:14.173, and that's it with qualifying. João Pedro has one lap left. He can do another try if he has enough fuel, but Get Owned has not another try. He invalidated already his lap, but he's in second place, so that should be enough for him. F1 Kid has also another try, coming now down the straight, setting a faster lap on his softs. Not sure if he wanted to, because that actually didn't look like it. And well, we're now just waiting for the guys to come in. So Svetkov is even faster than Get Owned, or was even faster. I know a lot of the guys are retiring. Please let me have some overview. A lot of red flagged spaces, and I'm not sure if this is final, but I hope so. So we have João Pedro on pole position, F1 Kid in second place next to João, for a Red Bull and Ferrari, then a AlphaTauri of Svetkov in the second row, next to Get Owned in the Mercedes, then another, no, it's the AlphaTauri, not the AlphaTauri, it's the Alfa Romeo of Philippe Nunch, who is in fifth place, starting the third row together with Furious in the Haas. Then with in the fourth row Mikael Busek and Inafredo Metrio, something like that, I don't know. Daniel Valle in the fifth row together with Hypnotize in the Renault on 10th place, and then we're ace lonely last. Well, that sounds a little bit sad, doesn't it? Lonely last. He's in the 6th row, the only one starting there from last on the grid in his AlphaTauri. I hope so. I think it was. And well, that's it for qualifying at the moment. And in the meantime, I'll just give again a quick look at our sponsors' products at HyperX and their little trailer. So yeah, have fun watching. And we are back on qualifying here, the final results of tonight's qualifying for the 9th race of season 13 in Spain here. And we have a quick information, as you may read in the bottom right corner. Hypnotizes brake pedal broke, probably during racing. Well, that's unfortunate, because now he maybe can't start into the race, and yeah, hopefully he can fix it until now, but I don't think he can, because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, no. Hypnotize isn't in with just 10 people starting, and We're starting already in 15 seconds. And then we'll go over it again onto the starting grid. I'm waiting for the lights to go out. And it's getting really hot. So just wait for the signal light to go off, which means we are here in the game, just waiting on the drivers completing their lap. And there we have it's the medium to hard strategy, or the medium soft medium. I don't think anyone will go with that, but I think the guys on soft tires will do like a soft medium soft, or a soft medium strategy, because a soft medium, a medium hard soft, or a medium soft hard, or medium soft medium or something wouldn't make really sense. The only thing which would make sense were medium soft, but I don't know if it's faster. I don't think so. But for the soft runners, it's like the only chance to go soft medium, because soft medium won't last until the end, except if there is someone who can really conserve his tires to hold together for the medium, the softs at least for like 13 laps, and then the mediums for 20. So yeah. But as we've seen, the mediums are breaking down at around lap 15, I think, was it? Or even a little bit earlier, 13 or something like that, 10 to 13. So yeah, we shouldn't expect that to happen, but well, we're always open for surprises. So we're now going down onto the grid order, and hopefully we'll get a good view on that one. I hope so. I'll go with Svetkov for this one, and I sure hope we get some front view. Exactly. And the 3, 4, 5 lights are on, and we are going for the Spanish Grand Prix. And Warris did get a penalty for a jump start, and we are back in the game. Warris was far to the back. You saw the jump start early on, and we have some overtakes here. Svetkov is still fighting with Get Owned for his position, but Get Owned got past Svetkov through the first few bends of the circuit. But of course, Svetkov isn't giving up. He still wants his position back, and he still has a chance too. But there is the Haas behind Svetkov. Furious is looking for the gap, for the overtaking opportunity, and is literally riding in his gearbox and looking for any possible way to overtake him. And there he is next to him, going down into turn 10 on the inside line. And now he has the inside again, but he has a little bit of a loss of grip, and through the next right bend he has to give up the fight for the moment. But as you can see, he's already close at the back of Svetkov, and at the front it's beginning to calm down. Joao Pedro and the F1 kid are a little bit getting space from Get Owned, already over second, so as soon as the DRS will be activated. Oh, and we've seen some fight behind there. I think it was Ina Fredo Metrio who overtook Mikael Busek. Back there was a orange McLaren, but Svetkov is slowly catching up to Get Owned, and Furious can't really hold the speed up to him. And therefore here we see the almost casual locking up of most of the drivers. But Furious is now already chased by Philippe Nunes, who wants, of course, this 5th place. 5th place are a lot more points than 6th. And if possible, he of course also wants to get even further up the championship, the current race positions. But here we go, another round second round on here again are the predicted pit stop strategies. Soft, medium, medium. I don't think so. I think it's more of a soft, medium, soft. Because you wouldn't go on a 2-time mediums if you do a 2-stop. That would be not really the most intelligent thing to do, but we have now DRS enabled, so everything who is inside of the window can open his rear wing onto the main straight and the straight between turn number 9 and 10, which is unfortunately pretty short, so there are happening some overtaking maneuvers, but not a lot, and mostly just because the driver behind is way quicker than the driver in front. But we are currently watching still the fight between Philippe Nunes and Furious, because Philippe is still catching up with him, still having the place to conserve, but Svakov is looking forward to get owned a little bit. Yes, I think it was Svakov. No, wrong direction. Svakov is again looking a little bit further to get owned. It's always a little bit going up and down the times, but Zvakov is now really closing in on to get owned, really getting back the 10th he lost around the last lap, but he is not really able to take a look yet for an overtake on get owned, and yeah, they just have to wait a little bit longer. But as said before, Spain isn't the most overtake friendly circuit, not map, track on the calendar, especially because of the long bends. Ooh, that was wide, Furious, therefore a 3-second penalty for multiple warnings. Yeah, I can understand that. That was a reasonable decision from the game, but it's also known for those unreasonable ones, which aren't really that much appreciated. But we are currently watching Zvetkov, who has lost DRS, I think at least, to get owned, and therefore Furious is getting really close into his back, and maybe still looking for an overtake maneuver. But I can also see that Daniel Valle is slowly getting closer. Oh yes, and they're nearly touching, but just closely avoiding the opponent. That's what we want to see. That's the best racing, and we saw this with Daniel Valle just a few seconds ago, and hopefully we will see more of that great racing further on in the race. We're now in lap 5 of 33, so we have still a lot to go. Still be a long... Oh! And a massive crash there! But both are still alive, I want to say, but I think that's not really the word. I think it was a crash between Michael Busek and Daniel Valle, was it? Because those two pit now. That was a massive crash. I would want to watch it back, because that was actually not really nice from... I don't know, I think he just spun out. Yes. Oh no, it was actually with... Wait a second. It was with Nunes, I think. It was with Nunes. Nunes, I think it's Nunes. it was with Philippe Nunes, the crash. So yeah, I think Philippe has spun. Hypnotized is ghosting because he isn't actually racing, as long as I'm correctly informed. Philippe spun, and Daniel Valle really hit him hard, and he's now gone to the hard tire for the next few laps, and the rest of the grid is now looking a little bit someone in the pits furious already. It's 6 laps off. Looks a little bit early to me, I have to say. I think you can do the softs a little bit longer than just 6 laps. He's also the first of the soft stoppers, I think. Or is Michael Busek also been in softs? I think it was. So maybe he's not the first, but after 6 laps is relatively early, I think. Especially if we want to do like a soft medium soft or soft medium. That would be too early, because then he is more likely to go on the soft medium, what the game was suggesting. But I actually wanted to look a little bit further up the standings, because the only one really in the DRS, still in the DRS window, is F1 Kid. And he is currently looking for João Pedro, who is still leading the Grand Prix, but both of them are on the soft tire. So therefore, as I'm saying it, the F1 Kid is going into the pits and surely taking the mediums for the next few laps. No, directly to the hards. Right, then he's probably looking for a hard soft. A big change, but Zvetkov is doing the same. And there's Hypnotized going up the standings, but he's actually just AI driving. So now going back, we have Furious in range of Zvetkov, so we maybe have a battle there. Furious, I think, was the fast driver, and João Pedro, as current lead of the Grand Prix, gets a time penalty. He is still out on the softs as Philippe, trying to make the best out of those tires to maybe improve strategy. Sorry. And yeah, we're watching Furious chasing Zvetkov down onto the second DRS straight, and oh, the F1 Kid just made an overtake onto Hypnotize. Oh yeah, but well, it's not really an overtake, and there we have it. João Pedro is going for the pits after 8 laps. So now we have it, as well as is Felipe, and we have now get out into the lead of the Grand Prix, and well, I think it will be in the end the battle between Gedonda and João Pedro for first place, because I actually think that both strategies are pretty quick, and I don't think there's that much difference between them to go medium hard or soft hard. Soft are those two guys trying to do. But yeah, let's see what it looks like after the medium runners went into the pit with it again. One kid behind João Pedro, and well, I think the try to really do a strategic pit stop failed for both of them, and there we have it. Pretentious overtaking Hypnotized, but that is just because of ghosting, and therefore yeah, there's no real overtake. Every Hypnotized overtake is yeah, just driving through a ghosted car. But the drivers won't really see it, because they won't. That's new, I think, in the game, that the drivers don't see disconnected ghosting cars. just we as a spectator, and there is Furious getting a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. And we have the F1 kid already out of range of Joao Pedro, who's kind of driving away from him. But another interesting thing is that Get Owned is currently about 20 seconds away from Joao Pedro, who is the leader of the soft to hard runners, soft to hard to soft. I think at least they will do that, because maybe there's even a possibility to do a soft hard if you stretch the hard tire very long. Not really stretch in that meaning, but if you don't push that much, you can maybe have the tire for a longer time. And I think we should take a look at Furious, because he is actually furious, trying to look down the inside there and touching the grasses a little bit, because Tsvetkov's closed the door, of course. He was still in front, and well, that's his turn now. So Furious is just waiting for his chance to make the overtake, and again the provisional lockup into turn number 7. No, it's 5. I don't know. I think I'm just confused today with turn numbers. But yeah, we see at the moment Furious chasing Zvetkov still through the last bends of the Circuit de Barcelona-Catalunya. And we're just waiting for some action to happen, or, which we'll see soon, are some pit stops. And I think in the next few laps those medium runners will come in and put on the hard tires. Oh! And another try down the inside of Tsvetkov failed from Furious. He just wanted too much there. Actually, I'm not sure really whose fault that is. I'll watch the instant replay. I just easily watch my own stream back on my phone. But I think that's a little bit of Tsvetkov's fault, because it looked, for me at least, like Furious was at least on the same height, height as Tsvetkov. They were nearly exactly next to each other, so there was not really someone who belonged the turn. But Tsvetkov should have left more space for Furious to fit through, but I think he just tried to close the door as he did before, where it was okay because Furious was behind him, but now Furious was completely next to him, and maybe even a little bit in front, because I think he broke a little bit later, so went a little bit further into the corner. But it's also possible that he just couldn't brake enough, and he went into Tsvetkov's car. I don't know the exact facts, but yeah, the drivers and the league leaders will talk about this after the race. And again, a little bit of dirt, a lot of off-track action going on from Furious there, and I just thought we have another overtake, but it's just where Ace sitting at the back of the ghosting Hypnotize. But we have actually some on-track action further up here with Joao Pedro and Enafredo Metrio. Fredo. I don't know. Oh! And there we have it. The first No, actually not the first. Oh, yes, the first. That's right. Get is pitching, and therefore João Pedro gets back his first place, but I think, or yeah, well, we have to see if João Pedro can drive out a little bit of more space, because he, well, maybe he doesn't need to stop again. As I said earlier, maybe he doesn't need to stop again. Maybe he tries to go to the end with these already four lap old hearts. That's it. Should be possible too, I think, because of course the hearts are shitty in terms of grip, but they're holding onto the car for nearly a race distance. So let's see. I mean, we still have Warrace out there with 13 laps old mediums. I don't know what he's up to, but we've also Michael Busek, who already did one pit stop, I think. Yes, one. Pretentious already did two. Oh, there was another one on the hard. I think he was previously on a soft. I don't know what what strategy was on actually. But where Ace is now pitching too, and therefore we have nearly the whole grid onto our tires, and yeah, that's it basically. But we'll see here. Pit exit battle. Tuna Williams and a AlphaTauri. Or Michael Busek, who's still in the mediums, wants to defend against Warrace. And for sure, Michael Busek is trying to hold on to these tires because, well, if he can pull out another... that will be hard. Oh, Michael Busek left the session. Well, then then the AI takes over, and we'll see what the AI decides. But yeah, that should be interesting. And Furious is picking up another 3-second time penalty. I just want to, because, wait, is there some on-track action happening? No. Oh, well, Warrace is overtaking the ghosting Michael Busek, but that's not really on-track action. João Pit, no. Who was it? Furious, exactly. How many penalties does he have? He has 1, 2, 3, 4 already. That's already 12 seconds. Oh, I didn't even... There's a new window here. Pit stop window. Would be more interesting to have like a filter for the incidents for like just penalties or something. But yeah. So, back into the race action. We have still Warrace in front of Michael Busek, who didn't rejoin, at least as I'm informed. No, not yet. But hopefully he'll return. I wouldn't want him to not continue his race, but as I'm speaking, we're currently heading for half of the race distance. We're actually at half of the race distance. Oh, and we have a little bit of an incident here. There was Furious going on. He went off track. Again. Ooh, real unstable now in that on those tires. It is not really looking good for him. And I don't think he has much tires left because he went already on like 3 different tires. Let's take a quick look. Furious back there. He has softs, mediums, hards. 3 tires already used, so there's still softs left and mediums left. But the hard is gone, I think. Of course, the tire switch the colors as soon as they get off the car. And oh, be careful not to cross the pit lane on the exit. And yeah, that's it with his pit stop, but now he's way back at the grid. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. And that's it. That's him retiring, and a safety car. That could make things interesting. This could maybe be an opportunity to stop for mediums. And there are the first medium stoppers. Oh, but Waris gets a speeding penalty for driving into the safety car. We can take a look at the warnings in a second. As soon as the safety car pit stop action ended, when the safety car is just doing his laps with the drivers in the back, then we can do take a look at the warnings. But I think that's it for now. Michael Busek is now last, and Waris put on intermediates. What the hell happened there? I think that's a mistake. I hope that's a mistake. But in the meantime, we'll just take a look where the safety car is standing. There we have it, showing the green flag for the drivers to pass. But now, and also the first three drivers, I just wanted to show you the warnings that drivers are pitting. No, the F1 is staying outside, but the others are going all onto the mediums for the last 14 laps. I should be quicker, because the F1 kid will be now really under pressure from those other drivers. But let's see, let's see. I mean, there are still some people in the pit lane, but they won't be overtaken anymore. So now we're taking a look at the warnings. At least at the current warnings. Those are the incidents. If you want, so I'm just skipping through it quickly. If you want to see something special, you can just pause, or end or put the video in a slower that it plays slower if I skipped something too fast for you. But not a lot of warnings, but just a new warning from our penalty for Waris. Speeding in the pit lane, not really often seen, and well, actually it is often seen, but unfortunately, and no, not the drivers don't really want it, but it happens sometimes, because of course the drivers are under high pressure and they want to brake as late as possible, also for the pit lane, because it costs a lot of time to go 60 or 80 kilometers an hour, just like, even if it's just 10 meters or something. It's some tenths, which can cost you a place later on in the race. But I think we have no one. Oh, nearly trying to overtake that Svetkov. We have no one really being lapped yet. No. No one is lapped. Waris is just last. Because he went for the intermediates and then had to do another pit stop. A little bit of an unfortunate event for him. So we're close to going back to racing, I hope, because the safety car queue is nearly complete. There are just 2 drivers missing. So let's see if the lights go out. Then the safety car will come in this lap. But there's no sign of it yet. Normally it should switch off about here, or a little bit earlier already. So it looks like we're going for another round on safety car conditions. Well, the game is again a little bit buggy and just switching the lights off now, which would be pretty late. No, safety car's not getting it. So we're going on for another lap of safety car. Safety car, just another one. And then we'll be back to race action, and done. We'll really have something to see. Because we then have still 12 laps to go after this lap. Because the 22nd lap will just start with crossing the line the next time. So we have still 12 laps to go after the safety car. At least I hope the safety car is now going in. I can for sure tell you, of course, because, well, it's still the game who is deciding it, but it should now soon turn off. Not yet. About at the beginning of the 3rd sector, somewhere there, it should switch off the lights, and then we're going racing again, seeing if the F1 can really get that good start there. But yeah, for sure, Joa and Gedont will be chasing him, and there he is. There it is. Lights are off. A little bit last-minute tire warming, and then we're just switching back it a little bit. And the F1 is keeping it very clean, very slow behind the safety car. Of course, the safety car needs time to get off track. It is still driving there. And the driver is still trying to warm the tires. And the F1 is, of course, trying to make that perfect restart. But, of course, is everyone else. And we're now seeing here... Oh! Nearly crashing Joao Pedro and the F1 kid. Out of the last corner he lost traction, I think. And that's it for him. We'll have to take a look at a little bit further, and F1 kid is struggling. F1 kid is struggling on those hard tires. And there are Cvetkov and Gedont past him. Joao Pedro is now back up into 4th place, and wow, a 3-4 white battle there, still going on. I think now everything is about sorted. A lot of overtaking action onto the first lap after the safety car has come in. And yeah, but now everything kind of returns back to normal. We have, oh, and they're hypnotizers. I think those are both the ghosting cars, right? No, Michael Busek has returned, I think. I hope so. I think he has returned. Yes, it doesn't look like the car is ghosted anymore. And the interval flag. Beautifully done. So I have to look it up myself. He's actually close. Daniel Valle is close. And he's really close. And he is past him. He has passed him. And there we have it, a beautiful managed overtake onto the McLaren in Alfredo Metrio. And another place for Daniel Valle, who's now up into 5th. And yeah, again, a little bit of lock-up action going on there. But he's still pretty close. Hypnotize is still ghosting, right? Yeah. So we won't keep an eye on him. But further up, we can have an eye on Joao Pedro, who just lost, or well, he actually didn't lose to F1 Kid because F1 Kid also lost a lot of places then later on because he struggled with grip, and so therefore both of them lost to Gedon and Zvetkov, which really means for Gedon to probably, most likely, get another win and extending the points further up, even over the 100 points mark, being the first driver to hit this. And then with a second place, Zvetkov would shoot up the table to about 6th place, if I'm correct, if he can hold this second position, which would be great for him. But of course also Joao Pedro wants to actually have the win, and F1 Kid of course too. So we have now 3 people fighting for this first position, but F1 Kid is probably not a real English way of pronouncing it. It's probably the most unlikely to get there because he's still on 15 lap old hards, and well, as you can see, it didn't really give him an advantage on to the first few laps, and Gedon just getting himself the fastest lap of the race so far at 1:17.014. Oh, and Daniel Bollé is just passing F1 Kid. That was a beautiful overtake. Daniel Bollé is pretty quick on that match rate. And oh no, it was a 1:17.094, not 014. But there we have it. We have now still a little bit of a battle going on. Not really between those two, but maybe Metrio is going for the overtake too onto the Fonke, because he is the Fonke is still on 16 laps old hards. It's always pretty tricky to include the Fonke into a sentence because it's kind of strange without an article. With all of the other drivers you can just say, well, that's Daniel, and but that's the F1 kid. And Joao Pedro sets, and Daniel Bollé sets an even faster time with a 1:16.980. A really quick one there. And therefore it seems like Daniel really wants to have that podium place, and is really chasing for Joao Pedro and Zvetkov and Gedon. But you have to say, of course, he may get a little bit help from those three at the front, because they're so close together and maybe soon be battling. And we'll maybe see an overtake soon, but not up front. But here at the back. Oh no, wait. Zvetkov is overtaking Gedon. And there we have it. There we have Zvetkov currently leading the Grand Prix. Currently getting first place. If he can bring that one home, that would mean 25 points for him. That would be a pretty big, an even bigger jump that would bring him nearly into the first three. Because Andy has currently 48 points, and he will have 48 points too, if I am correct. No, wait. Zvetkov has 23 points, exactly. Plus 25 are 48. So if he can hold this first place, he will win the race. Well, yes, of course. Oh, man. But he will jump up the championship onto up to 3rd place even. No, up to 4th place because Andy's there still. That would be phenomenal. That would be really phenomenal. But there we go. There go the battles. With over 300 km/h bombing down the straight and battling for positions. Those drivers are just insane. I want to do like this. And it's now only João Pedro, Gadot and Svedkov who can decide who will get out first at this Spanish Grand Prix. And yeah, well, we're still looking for a winner here, and those three have to decide it. Whoever will get out on top will have the crown at the end of the race, but those guys have to really take the mediums as long as possible. You can see there, get owned, already getting a little bit of problems with the tires, with the grip. They're pretty quickly done, and yeah, for sure every one of those three has to manage those tires now, but I have to say Svedkov is also getting a really nice exit out of turn number 16 every time. That's very good for him to stay in front of Gadot, and Gadot can't, even with the DRS, close into him. But João Pedro had a little bit of a better exit this time too, so he was closing in into Gadot, and therefore Gadot can't just look forward, he has also to look backward if João Pedro is suddenly coming up on one of his sides, trying to go for an overtake. But I don't think that will happen as that soon, but now Gadot is really close at the back of Svedkov, and maybe we'll now see an overtake, because they're now preparing both for the exit out of turn number 14, 15, and now going through 16, but Svedkov had the better exit. Svedkov was earlier on the accelerator pedal and therefore has a little bit of an advantage, even though Gadot has DRS. But now the DRS kicks in and Gadot is really quick, but can't really close in comparison to before, because, well, the gap between him and Svedkov is just consistently staying at about 4/10, and of course after the S-zones he's sometimes a little bit closer, but as soon as we go into the next straight, into the next corners, straight are DS, nearly all straight are DS, so Svedkov is again gaining more and more time. He's just maybe managing the tires now better in this really light state of the race. We're now in lap 30 and going soon into lap 31, and Philip gets a 3-second time penalty as we go round 4, lap 31. And there Philippe gets the overtake down of to Hypnotize, but Hypnotize of course ghosting, and there we have it. Gadot going down the inside into turn number 1 and the outside through turn number 2, and can he keep it in front? Yes, he does. Through the long turn 3, he can keep it in front, but Svedkov is looking to go again against him because he's really close. He is really looking to get an overtake maneuver done. but now it's currently meaning that Gedon is again winning the race. But I won't be that sure about it this time, because Zvetkov is really quick, and I think if he gets the exit this time, as well as he got it the last 5 laps, like, then he will be able to use DRS to overtake Gedon, and that's what we're soon about to see, because we're now going into the last chicane, into 14 and 15, shortly before the full throttle turn number 16. And there we have it. Is Zvetkov fast enough to get next to Gedon? And I think he is. He's going down the inside for turn number 1. He's braking a little bit earlier than Gedon, and Gedon is having the inside of turn number 2, but then of course Zvetkov has again the inside of 3, and we are now here going for the 32nd round lap of Spain, and we have a completely crazy battle for first place still going, and I think Gedon will be able to do the overtake again next lap round, but Zvetkov will do everything to prevent that from happening, because next lap is last lap. We're really going for it. Zvetkov has currently nearly no ERS anymore, but it looks exactly the same on the side of Gedon, and Joao Pedro can't really get the advantage out of the battle in front there, because those two guys are just so quick. They're not really slowing each other down while battling, and now we're going again for the main straight, but Zvetkov has a little bit of a distance to Gedon. But is Gedon closing in? Yes, he is coming closer and closer and closer, but can he go down the inside? No, he can't yet. And maybe that's even the race deciding question, if he was able to go down there, and the answer to this is currently no, because he has now maybe no chance anymore to get past Zvetkov, and that could be the end of this Grand Prix. That could be it, because I don't think that Gedon will get past him now. There is actually, I don't know, there should be no real opportunity anymore, because you know, you just can't. There, I would be so crazy. We will see a really close finish now, because we're now going on from lap 33 till the end. This will be the last lap, this will be the last few hundred meters, and Zvetkov is taking the first place home. He has made it. Oh! No, he actually doesn't. I am sorry to inform you. That was a really tight battle, and I really would like to see Zvetkov up there. But unfortunately, in terms of penalties, they had a lot of penalties. So Joao Pedro and Daniel Valle swept in front of them. Zvetkov is only third, with getting 18 points, I think, jumping up the championship a lot though. But I think that's not well, I mean, though it's a great result from him, and he actually finished first in track position, so I think that is already a really great success for him. Here we see it. Joao Pedro onto the podium. Onto the right side we see Zvetkov, and on the left is Daniel Valle in the racing point. A little bit of champagne is always good for the crowd, and then we will sure be able to see the final results. There we are, with Joao Pedro winning. But first, let's take a look at Race Director and the incidents for our league administration, and then we can again take a look at the standings. With João Pedro winning before Daniel Valle and Svetkov, who won actually with on-track position in third place. Then with Gerhard in the Mercedes, the current championship leader. Then with Alfredo Metrio in the McLaren in fifth position. F1 Kid in sixth, had a very unfortunate race. Hypnotize, who disconnected because of his brake pedal. Michael Busek in eighth. Philippe Nunes in ninth. I think those will swap up a few places. Suarez in 10th, and Furious, who did not finish in 11th place. So that is it for now, guys. This was the 9th round of season 13, the Spanish GP at the Circuit de Barcelona-Catalunya, and I'm Manuelis, and I had a lot of fun. Was a really exciting race today, and I hope we will see you again next week at the next stream of the Online Racing League. Next week we will be in, let me take a quick look, we will be in Monza. No, not Monza, it's Monaco. I just thought of Monza because of MON. It's Monaco, really tight circuit. No, I think even less of opportunity to overtake, so will be a tough one next time. But yeah, I'll hope to reintroduce you again next week to the next race, to round 10, and yeah, until then, I hope you retune in. Also, take a look at the link to HyperX in the description of the stream. Our first real partners and sponsors, who provide also you with high-end gaming gear. Yeah, check their Twitter up, check their website, maybe even leave a like and retweet if you like what you see there. Also, go to the ORL pages, and stay tuned. See you next week.